Hello, hello, and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is Danny. And for the week of October 13th through the 19th, the sun is in gate 32 and the earth in gate 42.
It's a perfect continuation from where we just left off, as 32 and 42 finished creating the light force channels of what was 54 and 53. So we'll get into that when we read the crosses.
Okay. Oh, thank you to everyone who's watching, liking, subscribing, hanging out with us, asking us questions. We love having you here, and let's get into it. So here we have our mandala body graph view, and you can see the sun is in gate 32, which is continuity, and that is a splenic gate. And the earth is at 42, which is increase and growth, and that's a sacral gate.
So at first it might be to wonder, what do these two things have to do with each other? And that's why you need to know the history of what the cross was just before to recognize the movement. But they're continuing the guardianship in a way of our movement for difference and change, and to de-stagnate the place. It just, and you can't move towards beauty, part of humanity's goal. You can't do it from within the stagnant. And so 32 captures the duration of that as in its continuity, and 42 just says, let's expansivize and get more expansive and develop and maximize all these resources. Let's to the pedal to the metal, people. That's what it says as it relates to just growth generally. So the protector of the growth and the growth itself are 32 and 42.
We have the sun in gate 32, which is duration and the gate of continuity. The only thing that endures is change. Gate 32 is a splenic gate, part of tribal circuitry, so support is our keynote, and it's part of the ego circuitry specifically. Gate 32 links up with gate 54, which is ambition, and the 32-54 make up the channel of transformation. Gate 32 is about constant evaluation as an instinctive recognition of what can and cannot be transformed, with an underlying fear of failure, and it's the spleen's contribution to the material continuity of the tribe. It has a gift for recognizing who has the skills or education to move up in the world, using influence to bring the attention to those in positions of authority.
And to become the authority, ultimately, potentially between that and 44, all the way through to 26. But no, this is part of that tribal stream of awareness called instinct. And it's the instinct to basically keep together the business that's keeping the tribe together. And that's all of it. It's not just because you have a TV or an appliance repair shop or something like that. Do they even have those anymore? Anyway, I always have to ask myself these things. That's funny. The 54 is receiving such an amazing hit. 32 should fear failure because 54 is constantly asking it to tempt failure, is the thing. And only through the moment-to-moment awareness of spleen can we even hope to assure the long width of the emotional wave. Well, we might have already failed by then, by the time they're clear. Like literally, this is survival stuff still, because it goes through the spleen. All spleen gates are about survival of something. And so you got to look at 32 as, I'm the governor of the process. 54 comes rearing in, and 32 says, whoa, hold on a minute. We may need to conserve some of this. We need some continuity here. I'm in it for the longer duration. And a not self 31 will hold on to things that aren't good for it, and then the business will fail. And a true self 32 will be more likely, it's always the potential, but so more likely than not to witness the winds of change because of its mandate. The only thing that endures is change. If you know the only thing that endures is change, you're going to have some kind of a conservative nature to you in some respect. That doesn't mean you're stuffy. It just means that, whoa, hold on, maybe not so much. You're capable of doing that, putting the brakes on certain things, altering the trajectory of what the ambition is. It's dealing with ambition. You try and slow down ambition. Hey, what's up with your kid? He's just so ambitious. Can you stop him? No. Why should we stop it? It takes a big hit. The fighter is measured, might come out fighting. Joy is just wild and how it's intoxicating. And so, but ambition can be almost maniacal. I think one of its lines is something undercoverness, or not quite espionage, but it's probably like a fourth line, third or fourth line, maybe a fifth, where it says something that like it's undercover. It's a little bit sneaky. It's not necessarily giving you the real deal quite. And that
Covert.
might,
Line 3 is covert interaction.
there you go. It's covert and it just won't tell you. It just won't tell you. And so with that kind of energy, you have to be a little bit conservative. And 32 has a reasonable fear of failure that it will always have. It's not to be overcome by it. And it totally keeps a smooth flow and it's there on an instinctual level. It's a real good safeguard for the whole thing. Like I say, when we get into the next gate, 32 becomes basically the protector of the whole thing. Just a few
Continuity.
days, yeah, the continuity, just and the awareness that now we finally have an awareness to the whole thing. We left shock and penetrating awareness, right? But we didn't leave awareness altogether. It was just too risky. So the awareness was there for when we shock. Now the awareness is there for when we move it and become expansive. Because when we get to gate 42, it reads a lot like 54. It just knows no bounds. 32 knows plenty of bounds. Let it. Okay. And if someone says, well, why don't you, can I get you to move on this? If the answer is, that's your spleen becoming intelligent for you, listen to it, ignore it at your own risk. Really, that's gate 32 in a nutshell.
It makes sense. It's continuity, it's duration, it's the ongoing survival of the tribe. Because if you just jumped after every ambitious idea, there's not a lot of continuity, because some ideas are really good, some ambitions are not so great. And that idea of that conservatism tradition, there's a reason for that. Sometimes we need new ideas, and sometimes we need the ideas that have worked for, hundreds of years.
Think of what else sits behind that energy of ambition: competition. Suddenly bonds can break if there's the wrong competition because two competing ambitions, that's no good. 32 is here for that continuity. It's in it for the long haul regarding that too. Think of all the ways ambition can be an affront after having just left 51, the warrior spirit that leaps. Hi, I leap into an ambition. You know, that's the movement. That's what the wheel asks of us. So if we're going to do that, we need protections. We need awareness in all of that. And again, it can't be the emotional wave, too slow. It can't be the toy box. Toy box will never make up its mind. And it'll just, yep, the toy box, the mind. It can only be the spleen, really, to really take care of that. Think of all the ways ambition can be an affront to other tribal members, break down bonds and loyalties, and suddenly you don't know which things are going. Not good. It's no good if it's not self. And 32 helps quell all of that. So if you
That's
got
really
32, you got a big job. You're not just being a jerk. You're being a little bit conservative sometimes, and you're supposed to be.
traditions that have worked and have stood the test of time because they've been tested.
Totally, totally. But they're not immovable. Rob would always tell a hula hoop story. Everyone at least knows what a hula hoop is. I'm sure of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So hula hoops are in business, but I remember when hula hoops went out of business. I remember when there were hula hoops everywhere. You're tripping on them. They're too much. You hated them. You bent them. You cut them and used them for something else. I'm not even kidding. There were too many hula hoops, and then they went out of business.
Mm-hmm.
So the continuity there would be to recognize the shifting times and not stay stuck in it for fear of failure.
Until the festival kids put some glow sticks on them and hula hoops made it
And
come back.
then back it came. Yeah. Yeah. Roaring back.
So here we have the Earth in gate 42, which is increase in the gate of growth, the expansion of the resources, which maximizes the development of full potential. Gate 42 is a sacral center gate, part of collective circuitry. So sharing is our keynote, and it's part of the sensing circuit specifically. Gate 42 links up with gate 53, which is development, and the 53-42 make up the channel of maturation. Gate 42 is the tenacity to stay with the cycle in order to maximize its inherent potential, generating growth and balancing development by using humanity's collected experiences to create a foundation for its future progress. Gate 42 is focused on what it takes to energetically complete a cycle or process. Weak or insufficient beginnings make you nervous and uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's that support for it all. It won't work because it's got to maximize the potential of its resources. So let's look at some of these keynotes. This thing is all about growth, and growth can be expansive. I mean, what if you're taking off? Hi, I'm in Silicon Valley and it's the dot-com bubble time, or it's AI time, like now. Growth is insane. We can't put those things up fast enough, right? data centers. You can't put them up. They all need their own nuclear reactors. Just, put it up. Hurry. It's like it can't move fast enough for these enormous projects. It's like the Hoover Dam over and over.
Now a link to like why 42 and 32 are connected.
Right. Well, fire hose here, potential for fire hose, just like the ambition. 32's
Yes.
got a lot going on it's protecting.
It's got to like hang on to it, because especially when you see like the .com bubble where everyone was just putting .com after everything and thinking that they're going to all be billionaires, and now everything is like AI, and a lot of it's like not doing as great as they thought they would. But if you just have this crazy fire hose of growth with the 42, it makes perfect sense. Then the balance of it is the 32, which is like continuity, duration. Cool, your fire hose is great and this growth is great, but what is actually going to have the stand the test of time for continuity and duration of the 32?
I promised that would make sense when we read 42, totally. And think about it. 42 is not the wildfire hose of 51. 51 is its own unique, temporarily in the now fire hose of, oh my God. So
It's a
you can't even call
samurai.
it's a samurai. You can't even call it a fire hose. You can call 34 a fire hose sometimes. Oops, it's pouring out that, into
Yeah, because
whatever.
fire hose implies like a sacral ongoing, whereas like the
Yes.
51 is like, I could fight you right now, but then I gotta go take a nap.
Yeah, right. And then I'm out of here, back to the farm. I don't even want to deal with you. Right, exactly. So 42's expansiveness, expanding all of the resources. I'm in the experiential, I'm the format for the whole human experiential, emotionally aware process. That is, I am the format for every channel starting at gate 64, going down to 11 and 56, going all the way down that right-hand side to 41 before you finally come to 53 and 42. All of that is the domain of this format channel. 42 is basically the really starting point of it. Even though 53 starts it, 42, if 42 sacral says yes to everything else, that's the real beginning. The real beginning isn't 53 saying it. 53 is saying it into the expansiveness of the energy. 42 is saying it to the rest of the energy that is about to be formatted by this expansive energy. Totally. When they're a channel. If you just have gate 53, you are absolutely formatting the rest of that circuitry. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, look at these that way.
The 42's
42,
got to like take it on and keep it going. The 53 is like, cool, root, adrenaline, do the thing.
yeah,
But
exactly.
nothing, if it's not yes anded, like the sacral
Right,
is like
right.
the king of improv. It's like the yes and.
Yes, and right, you got to have and. We need more ands, like more cowbell. You got to have it, and so maximizes the development of full potential. There are no mistakes in the words. It's like you can't look at the Constitution and say, well, they sort of, they mostly meant this. No, there's no mistakes in the words type
It's
thing.
precise.
Same thing here. It's sacral movement. All these words that keep adding up as part of this thing that must be shared. It's highly emotional. It's, at 41 hungers, at 36 crisis, it fates for the feeling it might have. It wants to try the whole experience and then get confused about all of that and share even that confusion turning into great ideas. You know what I'm saying? It wants all of this stuff that ends up telling a story. Ends up telling a huge story through 29 up to gate 33. Add all that up, it's trying to maximize that. It's humanity's collective experience to create this foundation. It will end up generating into existence a foundation. But this foundation of 42 is not the right foundation necessarily. 32 gives it its foundational finesse, its foundational sophistication. 32 is wicked sophisticated compared to 42, if you want to look at it that way. 42 is the 8-year-old or the 7-year-old, and 32 is the elder sister who's 17 and knows better, totally, and is going to say what's what on all of that. This competitiveness. So it wants to complete, but it's not actually competitive. This focus it has is to complete cycles. And the thing is, because it must be shared and it's not even personal at first, the cycle could be anything. More reason we need 32 as a governess. Slant that in the right direction to guide it. It's almost like a guide. 42's expansiveness is to hold on to your seats. If you have a 42 and you find that when you get hooked into something, you're stuck and can't let it go, we should talk. You're living out the not self of your 32, and your sacral keeps telling you no, but there's this pressure to say yes and keep doing a thing that you don't want to keep doing. I can do that to people easily. That would be the not self of this quite readily. And that's it at 42. Sacral, once it gets going, it doesn't need to stop. It can sustain the whole time. That's the deal.
It's the increase in the growth. The 53 is the start it up, and the 42 is the yes and let's keep going and let's bring it to maturation. A to B to C kind of thing, 2 gates and a channel that like are really quite easy to understand. It's the beginning of the experience, and the 42 is going to be like, yeah, let's keep doing this and like keep making it expand upon and grow. And then the collective sharing aspect of that.
It requires others. 32 doesn't require others. It requires some tribal peeps, or it can go it alone. 32 is perfectly capable. 42 simply requires others. So if no one else is interested, you have to recognize this energy you have that's driving your mind now to think, how can you make it happen anyway? That's what you're not. You got to really look out and watch what this thing is supposed to do. It's only supposed to do it when it is being shared. Now, it doesn't have to be recognized for you to initiate that and get it going. It's because it's a generated channel, but regardless, it still needs to be shared, or you're going to be generating into the, into the
void.
darkness, into the void. We left the void. Let's not do that again. And it was perfect. The expansiveness.
Up, we have our Incarnation Crosses for the week. First up, we have the right angle cross of the Maya, which adds the 62 and 61 to the 32 and 42 we've been discussing. These are people whose inner knowing and use of detail guide their ability to properly evaluate and inspire material development, maturation, and expansion. Then we'll move into the juxtaposition cross of conservation, which adds the 56 and the 60 to the 32 and the 42. And these are wary risk takers guided by the value of continuity or duration, who conserve our resources to ensure survival of future generations. Finally, we'll move into the left angle cross of limitation, which also adds the 56 and the 60. And these are people who see impermanence as a limitation, as a pressure, such as on business or industry to value products based on their practicality and their ability to withstand the test of time.
That limitation is a big one. And where we're headed is in the slowing down of this. The wheel is always speeding us up and slowing us down. And this is definitely one of those places, because we just went through the shock into the expansion and the drive is in both places, and the expansion is in both places, right? It's in both pieces of that wheel, of those 2 hexagrams. And so we need to slow it down. And this becomes part of the law of slowing things down. But starting at the very beginning, think about this expansiveness. Think of the rest of the protectors here of the expansiveness. Don't just go expansiveness if you don't have the details. Let's have details before expansiveness. Okay. Let's have it in the logical circuitry. Okay. Let's get a knower in there. We want a knower that literally will help with what don't we know yet. 61. What's this inner mystery all about? What don't we know yet? Because what don't we know yet? Guess what that speaks to? It speaks to 32. What? We don't know that yet? Conservativeness. That's a slow down. And I give the orders, by the way. I can give orders type thing. These things go together so well. And then the Maya becomes this. Everyone I know on the cross of the Maya, I always put it as they float amongst the people, empowering things that might turn expansive in ways that can be shared and feel good and move us towards something better. It's like and for that, they must be in with the people. I'm not saying they just like sit on a street corner and let people go by all day long. I'm saying that there's something about them that they're always in it with the people, especially when you get to this left angle cross somehow, way, shape, or form, even on the right angle. They're always doing something that is contributing to the entire Maya, which is the all of our human existence. So it's the people along with all the stuff that the people have, essentially. That's what it is to be in the Maya. But you got to slow it down. And when you finally get to 56 and 6, 6 says, I'm stuck. Well, I'm stuck on 11. I don't want to transcend to 12. What was that? My amplifiers go to 11 because that's what 42 wants.
Yeah. This one goes to 11.
Yeah, 42 says, To 12? Do we go to 12, anyone? The 11, that was so 1980s, man. The 12s? Spinal Tap, I think, was the 80s. Yep. And so 60 is a type of a slowing down. It's a root energy that guarantees there'll be a little different type of assessment. In a moment, it's going to have to answer to the law, and some expansiveness is no good. Yeah, we're so expansive. I got to dump all of my toxic waste into your river. Sorry about that. Hey, that's one of them. That's one of the things. Tribe's not going to like that. We have laws. So the expansiveness has to be bookended. Bookended on one end by the intuition that came from before, and bookended on this side by the law, which is the cross we're heading into. So the limitation is not so that you can feel limited. Look at the limitation as, I've just been cruising down the highway at like $140 the whole time, and now it's time to put on there's a toll. I'm putting on the brakes so I don't run through the toll booth and kill everyone. It's just about applying the brakes at the right when they're supposed to be applied anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to look at a name like limitation and wonder that, are you limited? But it is a sense where impermanence does seem as a limitation, but they don't stay there because it's not true. Because 32 has already taught us that the only thing that endures is change, right? 32 is sitting there saying it, and 50 and 6 approaching the laws are saying, I do see impermanence. I don't really like it, but it's a limitation I transcend through acceptance. This is the slowing down into, first, let me accept this thing. And if I don't accept, we don't transcend. So the limitation is really meant to be a limitation upon the expansion, is the way to see that. And then it moves into the law. Now, yeah, we got laws about that because we don't know what the laws are until some expansive, crazy folks,
Went too far.
crazy little rat bastards go and do a bunch of stuff. Now we got laws. We got law. We got law for you, buddy.
Every rule exists because somebody did something stupid.
Did something, yeah.
Everyone wants like no rules and have all the fun until people do stupid stuff, and then you have to start putting down rules, or nobody can have fun.
It's funny here, the rule making and the law is entered into through the stimulating story. Someone's got to tell how this thing happened. Because there's so much going on here. Someone's got to tell how this thing happened.
And tell it in a stimulating enough way to then get the brakes put on of like, hey, this crazy thing happened and it wasn't cool, and we need to put some rule in place so that doesn't happen again. Put it to you this way, and it did it when we were on the other side as well. Notice 56 and 62 are here at this point in time, each side of the throat. 62, when 62 says, oh, by the way, that's a little bit boring. That doesn't sound stimulating. We need 56's, oh, by the way. Make it a good story. Right. Yeah. That's funny. Great. I love the stuff we stumble upon just talking about this together. It's like, what these things do. I would love to talk to like 20 of these guys, and they all listen to this, and then we find out which little nuggets were more pervasive or not, or less. And I mean, it's just wonderful. I mean, as we develop it and get the website going and the reading is going, and there's been a couple people who you mentioned a master class. So it's like, I don't know how to do all these things, but I can. I wish I had somebody who can help me make the things happen, but I feel it's growing. Absolutely. It really is. Maybe we'll get some new volunteers, Moni. We should get a volunteer. Well, we'll see. If anyone is super lit up, reach out and we'll go from there. Next up, we have our hexagrams for the week. First up, we have the sun in gate 32, which is continuity. And in my I Ching book, it reads as lasting. Yeah, lasting. That's right? The best one. That's great. Yeah, continuation. It's lasting. The trigrams are thunder over wind, and the image reads, thunder and wind, lasting. A noble one stands firm and does not change his bearings. Thunder and wind are endlessly changeable, but they are part of a larger lasting cycle. Noble one's inner nature, subtle as the wind, translates into action as decisive as thunder. So however the environment changes, everything he does will always travel in the same direction. Just lasting all by itself, they could have literally just ended it there. But even though every line seems to sort of fit into it, including the last one, that no matter what happens, they end up traveling in the same direction. Continuity. The same direction is continuity. It's not hula hoops.
you know, in the hula hoop example. So traveling in the same direction as we ditched hula hoops and moved on to something else as a together tribe. That was the direction in the first place. So I just thought that that really sort of speaks to it. There is a certain thunder in all of that, and the wind must carry the message of continuity. It's got to reach all the way over to 42 in a deaf sacral gate that doesn't want to hear anything once it responds. What are you talking about? I'm busy responding. I'm a generator. I don't know. Maybe, especially in the right angle side of it all, right? I mean, say it isn't so,
I can't.
right?
Next up, we have the Earth in gate 42, which is increase and growth. In my book, it reads as increasing, so it's a active increasing. And the trigrams are wind over thunder. The image, because they're flipped, so it's thunder and wind over thunder. So the image reads, wind and thunder increasing. A noble one sees improvement, and so she changes. When there is excess, she corrects it. Wind and thunder are agents of change. Thunder is like the inner spark of initiative and will. Wind is far-reaching influence in the world, free-moving because of its endless ability to shape itself to the terrain. So the noble one moves as decisively as thunder with the versatility of wind, and she does not hold fast to a chosen direction, but responds to whatever opportunities for improvement she can see.
Doesn't hold true to any one steadfast direction. No kidding. Why should it? It's got to do a bunch of things. It's hungry. It's got to start, have taken a start already. It's got to finish. It's got to generate that sacral response, and it doesn't even know why. And it's got to share all of that. If you can't have all that, it's going to change. And even if you do have all that, it's going to change. You know, this growth thing needs direction. And this increase, I see why wind over the thunder. Thunder was like, here's the message. The foundation was the message carries. Now it's like, here's the message, but the foundation of that is I'm going to boom once.
Spark and then spread as opposed
Spark
to
and spread. And it's like, sorry, there was no foundation to carry this gentle message that needed to come to you. I'm just going to boom once. You get one alarm. That's it.
well, it's spark and then the wind, so it makes sense that it's increase and growth and
Oh, that part, the throwing. I was talking about the fact that we're not giving you any more warning per se. One is designed for
both.
warning, is the way I'm putting
Oh,
it. Thunder is like, here's the message of the thunder, and the wind as foundational will carry that, and it'll keep carrying that message because that's the foundation of it. And I'll carry all the way over to 42 when you reverse that, and you have thunder as a foundation. It's like, here's a ton of message. We're expanding. I'm giving it to you once, like a crack of thunder. It's the boss. If you missed it, whatever, if it didn't mean what it was supposed to mean, if you didn't get it, tough type thing, we're expanding and we're mortgaging the house. I tried to tell you.
well,
Oops. 32 is like, no, you're not. No, it's too late. I already did it. Yeah, I know. I called them. I rescinded it. So you didn't, which can be done. So it's these two gates, they need each other. They just got shocked into movement and they're about to get slowed back down. They're really bookended by competent guardians, both within and without. So I liked how these read. These read not difficult for me to understand.
so tying it all together, what can we tell our audience? What can they expect to see? How can they play with this with the sun in gate 32 and the earth in gate 42?
Recognize that there's a continuation from what happened last week already, 6.5 days earlier, not even really from just a few days ago, actually. And it is a continuation of that. Before I was saying, get used to maybe trying something. This ends up being something is underway. Watch in your life what is underway and see where you've been too conservative to even take a chance at it because of your fear of failure. This is going to throw a fear of failure into everything for everyone to a degree, some people more than others, because that's what gate 32's fear is. It's instinctual, it's tribal, so it's profound. I mean, it's going to show up on the planet now that I think of it. I wonder how that's going to play out. Don't let it play out in your life to where it holds you back. Most things aren't that important. There's something expansive you want to get to. See it. See it and find out what ways can there be a continuity with that expansiveness. Just dabble with it so that you can start something new ultimately. Because the law is going to bring something new. And that's in a few days from now.
Yeah, I like that of like the earth is in 42. So being grounded in what do you want to grow or do you want to increase? And then having that grounding so then the sun can shine the cool, I see what you want to increase, and this is how we can keep it going. This is how we can have a duration onto that increase so it's not just a flash in the pan.
Right. And with the sun being in 32, the driving force being this continuity that wants to make sure the thing stays moving forward, just remember that thing is your tribe first, and then your material way first and second. So sort of competing for first and second place, those two things. Your peeps and your material way and your safety in that respect, you know. So it's also potentially your job, even though most jobs aren't meant for nine-centered beings these days, but we'll have to figure that out, you know, the hard way. Till then, expand. I mean, expand. You had penetrating awareness that gave you clues and insights we don't normally get. That has just passed. Take this time to expand. In fact, 57 and 6.
Line 6 is utilization. The acceptance that clarity is a double-edged sword. There are situations where understanding cannot lead to rectification. Here, Uranus's innovative quality can generally make the best out of an otherwise difficult but rarely permanent situation. Where there is no answer, only the possibilities of intuition can make the best out of a difficult situation.
So the intuition is the only thing saving your butt at that moment. You know, it's sort of what that's saying. You better, this is saying you better beware of it. The model, role model, saying exactly what a sixth line is supposed to say. You, as the role model, you will finally trust the intuition almost implicitly or suffer the consequence. So this forced you into it, and intuition is no small thing. So we already left that just as gate 6 into this, and so you're taking that with you. Trust your gut instinct. There's something expansive in your life that you want, that you've seen, that you've looked at, that might even be starting within you now. If you haven't shared it because of a fear of failure, share it. It's begging to be shared. It's generating, sharing life force, because we just created 2 channels in the past 6 days. Literally, you know, you don't see that very often, quite that rapid right together. And we're about to create a couple more right here in this cross. The 3 and the 60 and the 27 is already there. So, and the 50, it's a lot. Everything's coming to life and waking up in the body graph. Now's the time to be expansive.
Yeah. And with that 42, with that expansiveness, if there's stuff that you've had on your to-do list that you haven't gotten done, that you're like, I need to get this done, like maybe this is a good time to get those things done, because you won't be able to start the new things unless you complete the old
Some of the
things.
old,
Yeah. And this is some really good energy to like finish something off, take it to maturation. It's the channel of maturation.
Last thing I'll say now I think of it is be wary what you start, because
Ooh.
the not self of this is to start when this gate 42 as a grounding is only there to pick up that relay of a relay race and finish. Be wicked careful what you start, because you could find yourself, the key, one of the keynotes of this experiential streams of awareness is hunger. That's, I always go to it. It's hungry, give it to me. You know, it's hungry for it. And so don't start something that's not for you. Again, you've got a gate 32 in your body graph right now telling you maybe not a good idea or not. Listen to it.
That's some good advice.
All 32 and 42'd out.
Yeah, we got it. We got it covered. So thank you, Danny. Thank you to everyone who's watching, liking, subscribing, hanging out, doing the thing, asking us questions. We love having you, and we will catch you next week for another transit.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone.